Chaos in California. After a years-long drought, the state finally gets some much-needed precipitation, but with devastating consequences in Oroville. We have the details.
Later, Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau's visit to the White House will fill you in.
Plus, North Korea is in hot water again after firing a test missile into the Sea of Japan. We have the rest of the story ahead.
Hello and welcome to the MCTV Weekly News Update. I'm Jamie Caniglia.
And I'm Jillian McCarthy. Panic set in on Sunday in California after the area around the Oroville Dam was evacuated due to a large hole opening in one of the emergency spillways. This was the second time the dam's spillway has failed. Although the dam itself was not damaged, a recent increase in precipitation could have caused the dam to collapse. As a result, 190,000 people were evacuated, causing a backup along freeways, turning short commutes into chaos.
Shaky ground with Canada has finally stabilized after a meeting between President Donald Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau earlier today. A couple of weeks ago, the relationship between the two leaders did not look good. After Trump first issued the immigration ban, Trudeau took to Twitter to say that refugees are always welcome in his country. During the press conference following their meeting, Trudeau said, "We won't always agree on everything, but we will remain allies and friends. It is good to hear that our closest ally geographically is still on good terms with the U.S."
Early Sunday morning, North Korea fired a medium-range ballistic missile into the Sea of Japan. While this was an intercontinental ballistic missile, one that North Korea has threatened to test whenever they want to, the U.S. government is responding carefully so as to avoid escalating this issue and causing a bigger problem. However, there's a good chance that the U.S. government will talk to China, North Korea's primary ally, to pressure them into controlling North Korea. This was also the first test since Trump's election. It is seen as a response to Trump's unyielding position against North Korea due to his promise to toughen up against the nation.
Ford is ready to join the self-driving car game. Argo AI is an artificial intelligence company that was founded late last year, and Ford is set to give them $1 billion to create self-driving car technology. This will not only be able to be sold to other car companies that don't have this kind of technology, but this also pits Ford's self-driving cars, which are scheduled to be on the market in 2021, against Google's Waymo self-driving cars. Interestingly enough, the founders of Argo AI previously worked on self-driving car technology efforts at other companies. One founder was from Uber, and the other was from Google.
Following two snowstorms this week, let's see what's in the forecast. Alexis O'Sullivan has her weekly highs and lows report.
I'm Alexis O'Sullivan here with your weekly news report. This past week, we were given a day off Thursday due to a foot of snowfall. This weekend, we also experienced about 2 inches of snow on Sunday. Once we get past Wednesday's snowfall, we can look forward to some sun for the rest of this week. For some international news, a report from the Smithsonian Magazine speculates that the earthquake in Nepal in 2015 may have shrunk Mount Everest. Surveyors in India are conducting an investigation to measure the mountain. Even if its size did decrease, there's no need to worry. It won't lose its title as the world's tallest peak above sea level at 29,028 feet. Today, we've got a range of temperatures from 36 to 14 degrees with an average of 39 and 17 and a record of 60 and negative 19. Tonight, we can expect clouds with a low of 14 and 15-mile-per-hour winds. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, but don't expect love to be in the weather. There will be sleet and freezing rain tomorrow with a low of 22, a 57% chance of precipitation, and northwest and western winds at 5 miles per hour. This week, Wednesday is our only snowy day, and it'll only get sunnier from there. Friday will be the coldest day, dropping down to 13 degrees, but it'll be up to 48 by the end of this weekend. I'm Alexis O'Sullivan, and this is our week's weather.
On Sunday, Maris went to see Aladdin on Broadway. The demand for Aladdin tickets was high, as SPC was scheduled to start selling tickets on Friday, February 3rd at 5 p.m. and actually started selling well before 3:30 p.m. Almost filling 4 buses, Maris students and a few faculty left McCann at 9:15 a.m. and headed to New York City for the 1 p.m. show at the New Amsterdam Theater with 337 costumes, 84 illusions, special effects, and especially with Tony Award winner James Monroe Iglehart as the genie, it was truly a magical performance.
Congress has been very divided on Trump's nominations for his cabinet. On Friday, February 10th, the Senate voted to confirm Trump's pick for Health Secretary. Tom Price, an orthopedic surgeon, was sworn in with a party line vote of 52 to 47. Price brings a doctor's viewpoint to the table as Congress makes efforts to change former President Barack Obama's health care program. While Democrats are concerned with Price's previous efforts to decrease the benefits of Medicare and Medicaid, Republicans say Price will help fix the broken system. The next of Trump's cabinet nominations to be voted on was Steve Mnuchin for Treasury Secretary, and he was sworn in today.
Ontario officer Jared Singh never expected that he would join in on the fun of the 911 call he responded to. The officer thought he was being called to the scene of a fight, but instead it was a group of students from Ontario Institute of Technology filming a music video for an upcoming competition. A member of the public mistakenly reported an altercation, which prompted Singh to intervene. But instead of shouting stop, the officer did just the opposite. Singh, a former dance team member himself, broke out into an epic freestyle, impressing the group of college students. Since then, the footage of the impromptu dance-off has received over 1 million views.
It's been an action-packed time in the sports world, and here is Matt McNamara with your weekly sports update.
Thanks, guys. It was a wild week in sports, so let's get right into it. It was a historic night at Madison Square Garden as New York Rangers superstar goalie Henrik Lundqvist recorded his 400th career victory against the Colorado Avalanche in a 4-2 win. Lundqvist recorded 32 saves on the night, reaching the 400th win in the fastest amount of time in NHL history in just 12 years, all of which have been spent with the Rangers. Things didn't go quite as well for another New York Knicks sports legend, as former Knicks great Charles Oakley was publicly removed from the Garden after getting into a scuffle with security during their game against the Clippers this past Wednesday night. The incident only magnified the issues the Knicks are facing this year, as many fans are calling for the removal of team owner James Dolan and team president Phil Jackson. Dolan is under fire for claiming that Oakley acted out due to a drinking problem. The Knicks will now have to deal with the distractions of ownership and the questions of whether to deal star Carmelo Anthony at the trade deadline. For those counting down the days until the MLB season starts, it may get here before you know it, as pitchers and catchers are already reporting for spring training. Teams like the Mets are already debating on how to form their pitching rotations, as the Mets will have Noah Syndergaard, Jacob deGrom, Steven Matz, and Matt Harvey to use. But let us all have a moment of silence for the Mets' offseason loss, big sexy Bartolo Colon. He will sorely be missed. And now for a quick Marist sports update. The Marist men's and women's lacrosse teams started their seasons this past week. The men defeated Colgate on the road 12-8, while the women lost a heartbreaker on the road to local rival Army 13-12. This upcoming weekend will be the beginning of Marist softball and baseball seasons as well, as the baseball team will travel to Bucknell this weekend for a 3-game series, while the women will take on Norfolk State, Coppin State, and Morgan State to open up their season. That's all I have for sports this week. Back to you guys.
Recently, Poughkeepsie residents have been voicing their opinions about national matters. First with the Women's March on the walkway across the Hudson in January, and now with protests outside of Planned Parenthood. Hundreds turned out this past Saturday, both in support and opposition of the organization. Anti-abortion supporters want President Trump to stop federal funding from Planned Parenthood, while those who want to protect Planned Parenthood stress the importance of the organization's reproductive health services, which include STI testing and treatment, cancer screening, and providing contraceptives for low-income women.
Can you hear me now? Verizon announced that it will be bringing back its unlimited data plan starting Monday amidst growing competition from T-Mobile and Sprint. Verizon did away with the unlimited data back in 2012, sending some customers data bills through the roof. The plan will cost $80 a month, and customers must agree to autopay and pay-per-fee billing.
New technology has made shopping an easier and better experience for the average customer. Google and fashion house Ivy Revel created an app that customizes dresses through coding. The app tracks the person's lifestyle habits and activities for 1 week. Then a complex algorithm processes the information through Google's awareness tools, like tracking, location, and weather. The app designs the dress material, cut, and style for the individual. The app targets people who cannot afford customized clothing or who are unfamiliar with design. These data dresses start at about $99, and the app will be available later this year.
Need to catch up on everything entertainment? Here's Caroline Fisk with your entertainment update.
What's up, Marist College? I'm Caroline Fisk with your Entertainment 411 for the week. In music news, the Grammys were last night, and let me tell you, it was one magical night filled with legendary moments. From the Slay Queen, soon-to-be mom of 3, Beyoncé's outstanding performance, to the 21 Pilots' interesting outfit choices for accepting their Grammy, from Bruno Mars's heartfelt tribute to Prince to the soulful woman who knocked this year's Grammys out of the park, the one and only Adele. She won a grand total of 5 Grammys, including Record of the Year, Album of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Pop Solo Performance, and Top Vocal Album. Not to mention her humble acceptances to the Slay Queen Beyoncé. Adele's producer Greg Kurstin also takes the cake by winning Producer of the Year for non-classical. In other music news, the top 5 hits for this week include Closer by the Chainsmokers featuring Halsey, Bad Things by Machine Gun Kelly x Camila Cabello, I Don't Want to Live Forever by Zayn and Taylor Swift, Bad and Bougie by Migos featuring Lil Uzi Vert, and Ed Sheeran makes the top of this list with Shape of You. For all of you Netflix and chill fans out there, a new Stranger Things trailer has arrived. And instead of Stranger Things, it is Stranger Things Season 2. Whoa! Mind-blowing stuff right there. The 2017 Super Bowl has introduced a new side to this Netflix series that you think you know. The trailer starts off with 2 innocent little children telling each other to let go of their egos, and the rest goes downhill from there as the whole world is turning upside down. Speaking of the Super Bowl, can we please take the time to discuss Lady Gaga's kick-ass performance? First of all, she started off by throwing a major hashtag throwback by singing her good old middle school classics such as Paparazzi, Born This Way, Telephone, Just Dance, and Bad Romance. Then of course she sang her most recent hit called Million Reasons. And to top off this epic performance, Gaga dropped the mic and she dropped herself into the pit of exploding fireworks. Talk about an incredible halftime performance show. I'm going Gaga for Gaga. We are now turning back the clock to 1983 when Al Pacino starred in the classic thriller about the mysterious battle between the United States and Cuba known as Scarface. Well, there's some good news because there will be a Scarface remake hitting the theaters around August 2018, according to Universal Studios. The director and lead actor are to be announced, but the script has been polished so that this version of Scarface will be a modern twist on a classic. Well, that's all the time we've got. If you want more entertainment in your life, message MCTV on Facebook or email us at marismctv@gmail.com. Thank you to our amazing crew, and a special thank you to viewers like you.
The Pentagon is beginning efforts to uncover a perplexing World War II mystery. The question is whether or not dozens of U.S. sailors listed as missing from a ship catastrophe were actually recovered and buried as unknowns in a New York cemetery. There are 130 victims that are still officially missing from the USS Turner's 1944 explosion and sinking around New York Harbor. Ted Darcy, a World War II researcher, discovered documents last year revealing that at least 4 of them were buried as unknowns on a Long Island military cemetery. Darcy supposes that the rest could be there, too. Recently, the Defense POW MIA accounting agency said that it is now taking measures to conduct archival research in efforts to detect files associated with the Turner unknowns.
With flu season at its peak and an increasing number of sniffling students in your classes, it's time to superpower your immune system. Between December and March, the majority of the population are staying inside for longer periods of time, allowing germs to circulate and colds to arise. If you happen to catch a cold, like me, food may be the last thing on your mind, but it should be the first. According to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, in few foods to boost your immune system during this flu season are chicken soup, yogurt, garlic, and plenty of liquids. Keep eating and keep healthy. Well, that's it for this week's news. Thanks for tuning into MCTV. I'm Jamie Caniglia.
And I'm Jillian McCarthy. Good night.